our keynote speaker come up. Senator Roy Blunt has a representative here, Hannah Clayton. Hannah, you want to just wave? There she is. And Brian Nichols is representing Sam Graves. Where are you, Brian? There he is. Also, Commissioner Kevin Sauer is here, and our public administrator, Craig Fuller. We also are pleased to have with us the newly elected Ward 2 Councilman Tony Petrie and then Macon's newly elected Mayor Todd Holman. Also, please welcome Macon County's prosecuting attorney, Josh Meisner. Josh, I understand you've been going around the state attending Lincoln Days. Yeah, I heard you went to the state Lincoln Days. Are you trying to tell us something? Now I'd like to have the incumbents in the county and, of course, state level just wave at people. Of course, our 6th District Representative, Tim Remley, will be running again for his seat. Tim, where are you? Our presiding commissioner, don't sit down, Alan Wyatt. County Clerk Shirley Sims. Where are you, Shirley? That's you. Circuit Clerk Twyla Halley. Here she is there. Reporter of Deeds Sherry Muncie. Our Treasurer Krista Bruno. And Macon County Associate Judge Philip Pruitt. We're pleased to have also all of our 18th District Senate candidates with us. We know that Brian Munslinger is turned out, and we have 4 very fine candidates. Just wave at the people as I call your name, please. Cindy O'Laughlin. Representative Craig Redmond. Representative Lyndall Shumate. And Representative Nate Walker. Now, this year, the Democrat collector retired. And we have 2 really excellent Republican candidates who have filed for that position. And you probably don't know them. And so I want them to take a couple of minutes each and speak to you. So Rhonda Anno, would you please, someone give her a microphone, please? Thanks, Jack. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Rhonda Anno, and I lived in Macon County for 22 years. 7, almost 8 years prior to working where I work now in the assessor's office. So I may look familiar to a lot of you. I was the deputy assessor as well as a mapper. I am the proud daughter of a United States Marine Corps veteran and also the proud wife of a Marine Corps veteran. And I have 2 children, 1 daughter, 23, and 1 son. He's 17 and he's graduating in less than 30 days. Yeah. But anyway.
Yes, here we come.
Yeah, group hug afterwards. But basically that's it in a nutshell. I think my experience will speak for itself, excellence in that experience. And I'd love to have your vote. Thank you.
Next, Shelley Van Sickle. Shelley, where are you?
Can you hear me? Very good. Hello everyone, my name is Michelle Van Sickle. My husband and I have lived in Macon County for over 25 years. He was born and raised here, graduated from Macon High School in 1986. Forgive me, I'm not the best public speaker ever. We decided early on in our marriage that this was where we wanted to settle and raise our family. So in 1992, I graduated from Quincy University in Quincy, Illinois, with my Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management, and we moved here right away. I spent 10 years working for Conagra Frozen Foods in their accounting department. Kind of started just as a temporary employee and worked my way up to cost accountant for many years. I have a love for numbers, and so that's one of my favorite things, and I feel like that would make me a good candidate for a collector. My husband and I have owned and operated Vans Transport for the last 10 years. It's an auto transport company hauling cars and trucks around the country. And I've also been able to utilize my love for numbers and my attention to detail in that company to help us be successful. Dean and I were blessed with 3 children who are no longer children anymore. Our oldest is Darren. He graduated from Macon High School in 2012. He graduated from Northwest Missouri State in 2016, and he currently works in Iowa as a sales rep for Wilson Trailer Company. Our daughter is a 14 graduate of Macon High School. She's currently a student at the University of Missouri in Kansas City, studying for her doctor of pharmacy degree. And our youngest is Dalton. He's a sophomore at Macon High School. He's involved in band and golf right now, and he's a leader in the FFA. This community has been wonderful to my family and I, and I feel like this is the perfect fit for me at this time in my life. I would be really honored to be your next Macon County Collector, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. I'd like to introduce a friend and a servant of the people, Tim Remley, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Thank you. It's good to be here tonight. And I'll tell you, this treasure we have up here is one of the most nicest, down-to-earth guys that you'll ever speak with. I've seen him around the Capitol a lot, and but you know what? He takes time to talk to you, and I just really appreciate the spirit that he serves the state of Missouri in. As a Missouri State Treasurer, Eric Schmidt acts the Chief Financial Officer for our state. Treasurer Schmidt fights every day for more opportunity for all Missourians by protecting taxpayer dollars, supporting small business, and empowering individuals and their families. The Treasurer has a unique perspective on Missouri's economy and uses that insight to develop strategies that expand growth and opportunity in all corners of our state. He has a strong vision for the future of our state and works every day to make that vision a reality. Eric and his wife Jamie have 3 children, Stephen, Sophia, and Olivia. Let's all make welcome Treasurer Eric Schmidt.
You've got a good one there, and not just because he said nice things about me. So I mean that. And congratulations, by the way, on turning that broom closet into a packed gymnasium. This is great. This is really great. And you know, the governor was talking about the bear story, reminding me of the joke that you don't have to be faster than the bear; you just have to be faster than the person next to you. So it is great to be here. I absolutely love Northern Missouri. I went to school in Kirksville a long time ago now, and met my wife there, and it's just an incredible part of a very diverse state, a very unique state, and you guys should be very proud of what's happening in this county. It really is a success story of the things that we can achieve. I had a chance recently to spend some time at Onshore with Robin and Shane, and seeing some of the great things that are happening there around town. We were talking about college savings, we were talking about small business growth. There's a lot of things happening right here, and you guys should be very proud of that, because it really takes a community for those things to happen. So I was driving up from Jeff City and thought about, you know, I get a little bit more time when you're the keynote. I won't take too much time. I need a little bit more time about what I might talk about. And as I was driving and looking at the beautiful landscape that brings back a lot of memories for me, I just thought about what brings us all here tonight. What do we have in common that brings us out on a Thursday night on a beautiful day? We've got some beautiful weather finally. A beautiful day, and it really is this shared belief in who we are as a country, and that our best days really are ahead of us. So what does it mean to be an American? And if you think back, you step back from all of the things that are happening, all the busyness, all of our commitments, our schedules, our phones, if you really take a step back and think about the uniqueness of this country that we live in. And we live in the middle of this great experiment that is unique in the history of the world. I mean, before 1776, there really wasn't a place, a country at least, that was born out of a philosophy that believed that all people were created equally and with dignity, and that those rights didn't come from a king, they didn't come from government, but they're natural rights that we get from God, that nobody can take away from us. No person can take it away from us, no government can take it away from us, no dictator, authoritarian regime can take that away from us. We're born with these inalienable rights of life, liberty, and what Jefferson said, which was really unique, and that phrase had never really been used in the course of human history before, which was the pursuit of happiness, which is a very uniquely American concept. And so when we talk about American exceptionalism, I think one of the most damaging things that our former president, Barack Obama, said during his presidency when he was asked, do you believe in American exceptionalism? And he paused, and you can see him calculating sort of a response here. He said, sure, as much as the Irish Prime Minister believes in Irish exceptionalism, or the Greek Prime Minister believes in Greek exceptionalism, which, by the way, misses the entire point of what it means to live in this country. We're a creedal nation. We believe we all come from somewhere else. And we believe that this common belief in this universal human dignity, that all life is important, that people have a right to pursue their dreams. We believe in that, and that's what sets us apart. And that is our great export to the world. And there's still many places in the world where they don't have that. And we are, as Reagan said, that shining city on the hill. But that belief doesn't pass through the bloodstream, as Reagan also said. It's passed on. So by us coming here tonight, by sharing in this fellowship of what it means to be an American and understanding what that means, and the humility that George Washington had. George Washington could have been president for life, but he didn't. He didn't do that. He stepped down in a great act of humility and set the standard, that kind of leadership. Ronald Reagan with that optimism, that fearlessness of Teddy Roosevelt. That's the legacy of our party, by the way. But that Declaration of Independence really serves as a mission statement for our country. So before we had a Constitution or a president or a Congress or a Supreme Court, we had that Declaration of Independence, which really to this day stands the test of time of what our great aspirations are as a people. And it's really important for us to keep that front and center in all the noise and the news and all the stuff that is meant to distract us. That's the most important thing. And so then I thought, what does it mean to be a Missourian? This is and when you run statewide, Missouri is a big state. Kennett, Missouri is closer, which is in the Boot Heel, is closer to the Gulf of Mexico than it is to Tarkio, Missouri. It's a big geographic state. And by the way, in the Boot Heel, they grow cotton and tobacco and rice. In northwest Missouri, they got wind farms. It's pretty unique. It's pretty unique. When you're in Iowa, with all due respect, and we're not that far from, there's not much difference between northern Iowa and southern Iowa, quite frankly. But this is a really diverse state where a lot of people have come together. I think of my family history. My family with a last name like Schmidt, you might guess where they're from. Like a lot of Missourians that came in the 1840s from Germany, came up through the port of New Orleans, and settled in Tipton and Pilot Grove in mid-Missouri. And they wanted a better life. They could have gone anywhere. But they left everything that they knew to come here, to this state, to plant their roots, to be part of a community, to raise a family, to be free, to escape many of the wars that had really ravaged Europe for a really, really long time. And so when Lincoln's trying to hold this republic together, that is in the front of his mind. That we have to remain one nation because we'll be plagued by all the troubles that Europe's had over the years. So you think about what Missouri is. It's a country of pioneers. Daniel Boone, Lewis and Clark, innovators. I'll give onshore another plug. I mean, there's some innovation happening right here. The Hubble International Space Telescope. He was from Missouri. There's a lot of great inventors and innovators from the state. Great leaders like Pershing. And Omar Bradley, by the way. Not too far from here. So that's the best of who we are. And it still is who we are. And one of my favorite stories about Missouri, I'm reading this, I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. I'm reading this 7-part history of Missouri. So I serve on a lot of boards that I shouldn't be on, like the Arts Council. I don't know why, I'm not qualified to be on the Arts Council, but I'm on the Arts Council. But I'm on the State Historical Society, so I've read this. And one of my favorite stories is in the Boot Heel. The Boot Heel was supposed to be part of Arkansas, but there was a guy who bought up all that land before the New Madrid earthquake, before we became a state. And he went to Congress, and he petitioned to be part of Missouri. He didn't want to be part of Arkansas. Now, there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to be part of Arkansas. I mean, I could do a keynote address about that. But he saw the opportunity here. The rivers came together. This was a destination. It's our home. And it's certainly worth fighting for. And I thought about, what does it mean to be a Republican? It's the idea of limited government. That states created the federal government. They came together to create the federal for a very limited purpose. And that we believe in the First Amendment. We believe that you ought to be challenged, that you don't get a safe space. That part of what it means to be an American is that you are trying to persuade, willing to be persuaded, but this free exchange of ideas. We believe in the Second Amendment, for a lot of the reasons protecting liberty against tyranny. So in this Second Amendment debate that is now renewed, it's really important to remember why that was in the Bill of Rights in the first place. And so as a party, we believe that people should have equality of opportunity. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that we have a Department of Happiness or that we have happiness stamps. It means that everybody has an opportunity to pursue their dreams, that equality of opportunity. And so these are really, really important concepts that are worth fighting for. And it also means, by the way, that we are compassionate people that are involved in our communities, that care for our brothers and sisters. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that we outsource that to some faceless bureaucrat, that we take care of each other. The churches and the organizations. When Tocqueville came to the United States, he wrote a book called Democracy. When America was really, after we won the War of 1812, this French guy comes over here and he's wondering what is happening in America. They believe in religious freedom, but they must just have better bureaucrats than we do. And he toured 20 plus states. And what he discovered was that the greatness of America wasn't in literally the swamp of Washington, D.C. It was actually a swamp. But that the greatness of America was in the Rotary Club. It was in these organizations, these are before the Rotary Club, but these organizations that we volunteer to be a part of. Our communities, people running for local office, who are willing to put themselves out there and serve their community, people coming together. And so what does that mean? Now, what does that mean for us where we're at in this moment in history? And a lot of people say things like, this is really unique, this has never happened before, but as the chief financial officer of the state, we get to have a longer view of what our prospects are in Missouri. And the governor was right. Our unemployment rate's at a historic low. Our labor participation rate's better than the national average. We're doing better than our surrounding states. We have all kinds of opportunity. For the first time in the history of our state, every Republican won up and down the ballot in 2016. Doesn't get done, by the way, without everyone rowing in the same direction. But it's not enough just to get elected. That's not the point. The point is to leave the campsite better than you found it. So in our office, You know, we're doing things in an executive branch position. I serve on the state pension board. We've been calling out people that have been lying to taxpayers for 20 years. You know, we have a looming pension crisis. It's on the horizon. We're not Illinois, right? We had a thing this summer on the banks of the Mississippi that was hashtag don't be like Illinois. And everybody understands what that means. But unless you get in front of these pension liabilities, you're going to have problems. We're lowering taxes, and so that was one thing that I was really proud to work on in the legislature, the first tax cut in 100 years. Where things like unclaimed property that we're in charge of, cut in half the time it takes for people to get their money back. Good government. And that's the difference between what it means to have conservatives in office and not having conservatives in office. I'll give you another example. The federal tax reform bill, Senator Cruz offered an amendment that allowed 529 college savings accounts to now also be used for K-12 education. So we are taking the national lead in Missouri on that issue. We are going to be out front. We're going to make sure people have more opportunities. And there's some states, some blue states, that aren't doing it because they're getting pressure from some special interest group that they don't want to see the program head in that direction. That's not what we're doing. So that's why it's really important to have, at all levels of government, elected office, to have conservatives who share our vision, because these things don't last forever. They really don't. So it's really our time, it's our moment to make the most of this, to make the structural kind of reforms for our state to be a great state for a long time. It was mentioned in the intro, I'm a dad, right? More important than anything else, I'm a father and a husband. But I'm a father, my wife's saying, but I'm a father. I want my kids to have every opportunity right here. I do not want them to have to go somewhere else. Selfishly, I don't want them to have to go anywhere else to get a great education, to have a career. And that means in every corner of this state. It means in Kansas City, in Macon, in Springfield, in Cape Girardeau, in Kennett, in Tarkio, everywhere. And why not us? Why not us be the national leader in job growth? That is our history as a people. There have been some great people come from Missouri who've led, and this is our time. So more than anything, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Our best days are still ahead of us, and together we can continue to make our corner of the world a better place. Thank you for having me here tonight.
Now we're going to have some fun. Scotty, are you ready? We're going to have our auction. Do you need any ring men, Scotty? Okay. Do you have a microphone? Okay, he needs a microphone. Somebody got one sitting near him, they can give him. Great.
Testing. Ladies and gentlemen.